Hey there, guys. Jarrett here, aka Sergeant Siaj here, back again here with another video. And today we're going to be going over some signature scents. Now, signature scents to me are something that you can get away with wearing every single day here, and most of these are going to be cheapies. They're going to be cheapies here, as you know. Here, most of the time, I talk about just pure cheapies on the channel here right now, and that's going to be that here. Very rarely are you ever going to see me talk about something that's like super duper expensive or anything like that. I just can't really justify here spending $300+ on a single fragrance here. But let's go ahead and get into it here. Now, to me, signature scents here are going to be something that you can wear every day, probably to the gym, get away with it at the gym at least. But they're going to be like safe office wears that you can wear like every single day, and something that smells really good, usually on the fresher side of things, masculine. There's definitely some things that are a little bit more sweeter that you can get away with, but let's go ahead and get into it here. We're going to start off here with one of the most popular DNAs here, of course, here, and that's going to be Aventus and Aventus Absolute. One for each. The one I'm going to talk about today here for the Aventus side of things slash Hashiva is going to be Supremacy Not Only Intense. This doesn't get talked about too much here. I talked about it in the fall video, and I actually wore it the other day here, and it projects like a beast. I would go no more than 4 to 6 sprays with this stuff here, because this stuff is still really good. It's only getting better over time, and I think my batch is from January of 2025 of this year, so keep that in mind. I purchased it, I believe, back in April, but I would have to go back and look to see, just to double make sure here. But this stuff is really good. It's a little bit more apple forward, a little bit more oak moss heavy here in the dry down compared to like actual Aventus or any Aventus dupe. But this stuff still smells good. It still projects like a monster. Hardly gets talked about because it was released 4 years ago. Not a lot of people are talking about this because there's just so many Aventus clones out there and dupes. But it deserves to get the attention here because it's cheaper. Are there better out there in terms of like quality and stuff? Yes, but they're also much more expensive than this. This, for the price point, of around $30, $35 here, still is still really good. I will put a little asterisk here and say that apparently the 150 ml bottles do not perform. That's what I've been hearing in the rumor mill, but the 100 ml bottles like this one, I haven't had any issues with mine, so I can only speak for myself here right now. For the Aventus Absolute, you could go with Collector's Edition. You can go with Armaf per show if you want to spend out a little bit more money. But the one that I wear the most, I would say here, is still going to be Atralia's Absolute Noir. And ironically, it's also the cheapest. I believe whenever I looked this up before the video, it was like $23, $24 on Amazon right now. It's also, you can see the dent in this here is like right here right now. So it's only going to get worse here now that we're entering the fall and the winter time, because I think that's where this one shines really good. It's sort of like Aventus with some Sauvage-esque type of DNA here, but they both kind of have a similar DNA, in a sense here to begin with. So keep that in mind too, but this stuff is really good. I usually get anywhere between 8 to 9 hours now with this stuff, probably a skin scent for about 10. So yeah, and I believe my batch is from last year. I think this is almost a year old now. Like, I don't think it's quite a year old. Nope, it is. This month it is actually a year, so 10 of 24. So there you go. It did take a little bit of time to get that longevity out of this one, though, here. So keep that in mind for this one. Very citric, very fruity forward here in the opening, and then you go into that dry down here. It goes into the mid pretty quick. That's the only complaint that I had about this one here, is it does go into the mid and the base pretty quick. But it also lasts a pretty long time too for the price point here, so I'm not going to complain about that. It does have a unique watermelon note in here, which helps this one out too on being a little bit more unique compared to the other ones. Now we're going to go into something a little bit more, I would say, basic here, and that's going to be this one here. I don't like the presentation too much. It's going to be Khalis Muharib, and this is supposed to be like a take on Bleu de Chanel and Sauvage. So it's going to have your basic shower jelly style of DNA with just like a little bit of spices and stuff like that. I usually, again, get about 8 to 9 hours here with this. I would say probably hour 8 and 9 are going to be a skin scent, and 7 hours of like actual, you know, projection, probably projecting pretty well in the first hour and a half, 2 hours. But I do wish that the bottle here was just like this matte blue, like on the bottom all the way around. You can see it's actually cracked, like almost smack in the middle here. Damn, I gotta clip my nails too, but I'll do that after the video here. But yeah, but it's cracked all the way through, and it's actually cracked all the way to like the collar of the cap, which is what I was more concerned about here, because this is all a one-piece thing right there. So I definitely don't like that. But the scent and the juice inside is really good. I have 2 fragrances here now from Khalis. This one and the one, I forget what the one that, I would have to pull it out here. The one for Stronger With You Sandalwood. Both of them are really good. Fantastic stuff here, there. And on to the next one. Next one here is going to be a DNA that I was not very thrilled with here whenever I first tried it. And that was Imagination. And I've tried multiple dupes of it. The one that I always keep coming back to, though, is going to be Karus Blue Spice from Khadlaj. And this one, to me, just catches, you know, just enough of everything. I didn't get to wear this one too much over the summertime, but I definitely wore it more than I was, like, thinking that I was going to wear it. Because I'm not too big of a fan of the DNA in general to begin with. So keep that in mind for what you will, too. So obviously, this is going to be a lot of citruses, a little bit of spices and that ginger, and then it goes down into like almost a ginger hand soapy type of style with like just barely a hint of tea on this one. And I like Marwa. Marwa is pretty good if you want to do that route and spend a little bit more money. But that one, I think, stays a little bit linear for almost the entirety of its fragrance. And there's a few other ones out there now here. There's Cobra that I haven't tried yet here from Rasasi, so I'll have to get my hands on that one and maybe see. But it's not at the top of my list here to like go out and grab and get here. So this one, for me, it works out pretty good. And it's something that you can get away with wearing every single day. You're not going to complain. Nobody's going to say that you smell bad with this one. So, you know, it's just going to work for what it is. Next up here, we'll do this one here. If you want to get that fabric softener, you know, style vibe here, the one I talk about a lot on the channel here is Dumont Elixir, Nitro Elixir here. Because 1, it's new. 2, it smells really good for what it is. It lasts a long time here. But if you want to smell just like the Eau de Parfum, YSL and myself, Eau de Parfum, this one is really good, and it's by a company that I think is underrated here, especially for the price points of their fragrances. It's going to be Zimaya's Itqan Noir here. This stuff is really good. Again, probably didn't get to wear this one too much. I think I wore it like 6 or 7 times here. You can see there's a little bit of a dent here in the top here, but this stuff is just really good. I mean, not much to say. It's not like a complex style of fragrance here. It's definitely revolved around the orange blossom. This is kind of what kicked the trend of the like orange blossom DNA being popular. It's just an easy to wear, easy grab and go fragrance. And whenever you're looking for a signature scent, that's typically what you want. It's something that's easy just to grab and go. Next up here, we're going to do my first fragrance dupe here that I ever bought here, and it's still one of their I think it's actually still one of their best fragrances here that they've released so far, and that's going to be Lattafa's Fakhar Black. And this is going to be a dupe of YSL Y EDP. And this one is really good too. I mean, you still get the apple and the ginger here in the top and a little bit of the aldehydic nature of YEDP. This one's a little bit fresher, though, I would say. I think it's a little bit toned up on the ambroxan and that shower jelly vibe. And to me, that's what makes this one good. You're going to get 6 to 7 hours of longevity, so you're not going to get like anything that's beastly or anything like that. But for 20, 25 bucks here, depending on where you look to pick this up, you're not going to beat, you know, what this is doing here. So I think this stuff is really good for what it's worth here, and I'm really happy to have it, and I'm happy that it was like one of my first here, because I think the performance has definitely gotten a little bit better over time, but like not drastically better or anything like that. Not to where I'm going to say, oh, this is getting 9 hours of performance. No, probably 6, 7 hours, and that's it. But you can go a little bit heavier on the sprays. It's not going to be offensive to anybody or anything like that. Next up here, we're going to do the designer. The one designer I have in here, which is not exactly cheap, but you can find it at discounters now, and that's going to be Polo 67 Eau de Parfum here. And this is, I believe whenever I checked it here for the video, it was like $77 at Joma Shop now, and it's like kind of finally beginning to become more readily available there. Rather than like a wait for like 3 to 5 weeks, like a few months back here. So this stuff is really good, fantastic. If you like this, the pineapple note, and I'm not talking like pineapple that you would get from like Aventus or anything like that, but like a slightly tropical blue styled fragrance here, this stuff is really good. It's also, you know, revolved around that. The cedar here and the benzoin here. That's kind of the 3 notes here that they really threw out there to sell this one off. It also has cypress in there, which isn't used a whole ton, especially in like blue fragrances that are really popular, but I like it a lot. If I had to go out and buy one designer here for 2025 that was released in 2025, I'd probably be picking this one up here because nothing else really got me super excited. There's one other one here that did get me excited here to go out and grab, ironically enough, also from Ralph Lauren. But this one got me back into the house because before that, I did not have good experiences with the house in general here. Next up here, and the second to last fragrance here we're going to talk about here is one that is a little bit more classy, that you can pick up now here for anywhere between $30, $35 is going to be Armaf's Infinity Black or Silver, depending on where you look here. It depends on the name here. But this is a dupe of YSL's L'Homme Ultime. And this stuff is good. And not only is it good, but the longevity on this is fantastic here. This is a very classy, like ginger cashmerean styled fragrance here, just with like a little bit of citruses, and that's pretty much the story of the fragrance here. But it doesn't have to be fancy to be good. This bottle is a little awkward here, but outside of the bottle, the juice inside of the bottle is what matters, and that stuff is really good. I usually get anywhere between like 10 and 11 hours of longevity out of this, especially if I'm going to be in a more controlled environment. Now, keep in mind, like I only wore this over the summer, so now we're into the fall. It's not going to be as hot. Your fragrance isn't going to rub off or burn off as quickly as it does in the summertime. So I would imagine probably going to get around the 11 to 12 hour mark with this stuff in terms of longevity, but it's probably going to be a skin scent from like hours 9 to 12. But this stuff is really good compared to the original, and it's also just good in general for a signature scent. It's something that you can pick up and go every single day. And then lastly here, one that I've been talking about a lot here, and actually it's so good that I picked up a second bottle of it here because I've actually put a little bit of a dent in this one already, and I'm a little bit concerned that it won't last, so I went ahead and picked up a second bottle of it, just because it takes forever to ship from Aroma Concepts for whatever reason. Every time I order from there, it just takes forever to get here, but it's going to be Anfar's Summer in Dubai. I really like this one a lot, and it's nothing fancy. It's nothing fancy. It's citruses, a little bit of ginger and spices and musk, essentially, is what it is. A little bit of ambroxan in there too, but it reminds me, you know, whenever I spray it on, it reminds me of something of an Acqua di Gio, you know, styled fragrance, whether it's Profumo or Profondo, just with the opening of like a juicy pineapple grapefruit bergamot combo that like Aventus Absolute has. This stuff is really good, and I think the reason why I love it so much here is just because here, whenever I first got with my wife here, the first fragrance that I bought was Acqua di Gio, the original, the EDT, and I think that's kind of why it just has that style of a more modernized style of that essentially here. So I really like this stuff a lot. Uh, doesn't get talked about a lot. Anfar in general doesn't get talked about a whole lot in the frag here, but they should, because I haven't gotten a bad fragrance from them here. So this stuff is really good. That's going to be the last one here for today. We're going to start talking about fall fragrances here again, a little bit more fall fragrances in the next video, and hopefully you guys enjoy the rest of the weekend. See you guys in the next one.